I hear tell there are people out there who hate waiting. So let's wait no more. Let's get started, shall we? Well, it's Saturday morning. I've started streaming. And the dogs and cats have decided to go crazy. Woohoo! That's fun. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a crazy case for you today. This is one where nobody's happy, and Judge Rossi is stuck in the middle. Talk a little bit more about it in just a minute. I got to deal with something here. All right, as we were saying, maybe the dogs won't go too crazy. Judge Rossi has this young lady named Miss Jaffe, who has a PPO, not one PPO, but two PPOs against her, and it's causing her all kinds of problems. She's insisting that the neighbors are using the PPOs as leverage against her to make her life a living you know what. And ladies and gentlemen, she's not happy about it. She's got a lawyer with her. And they're here to ask Judge Rossi, could you please find it in your heart, sir, to release these PPOs against my client? And Judge Rossi has a lot to hear from the other neighbors in the neighborhood. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the whole 2 hours this morning with Judge Rossi with this one case that is, oh wow. Get ready, because you know how it happens. It all starts right now. After the music. Because I didn't time that really well. You know how it happens. We got to finish this off. to see everybody this morning, by the way. Thank you for chiming in, Great Granny and Jerlay. Everybody be weather aware. Rhonda's out there somewhere. Marty, good to see you. Barry, good to see you. Mama's out here somewhere. Alex, great to see you too. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for some court. It's that time of day. It's Saturday. I am your lone Fussel, and this is the Court Gallery, and we're starting right now.
Circuit Court for the County of Kent is now in session. Honorable J. Joseph Rossi presiding. We are here in the cases of Kathy Marashi versus Cassie Jaffe, case number 24-00215PH, and Elaine Dalcher versus Cassie Jaffe, case number 24-00022PH. This hearing is being recorded on Zoom and live streamed on YouTube.
And this matter is before the court today for an evidentiary hearing on the termination of PPOs that's requested by respondent Ms. Jaffe. So at this time, I would invite counsel to place your appearances on the record.
Christian Krupp on behalf of Cassie Jaffe.
Thank you. You're muted, Ms. Yared.
There we go. Christine Yared on behalf of both Elaine Dalcher and Kathy Marashi.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Yared. And Mr. Krupp, this is your motion to terminate. And I don't believe, as I flipped through these files last night, it occurred to me these have been pending for a significant amount of time, and I appreciate all of the parties' patience in doing this. I think we had it scheduled, and Lisa reminded me that another matter went significantly longer than anticipated and forced me to bump till today. So this has been pending for quite some time. So I don't think, bottom line is I haven't taken any testimony on it. So is that accurate, Mr. Krupp?
I believe so. Actually, now that you mentioned that, I'm looking at this. It looks like an order was entered, and I'm just looking at the motion to extend, February 12th, 2024. So we're sneaking up on a year actually from the motion to extend. And I think that's it looks like the objection or the extension was requested June 11th, 2025 is the stamp on the document.
Yeah, and then you objected shortly thereafter. And
yeah. And it had the new date. Well, weirdly enough, actually the new date is within 5 weeks of now. So so you end up with it's kind of interesting. So it actually will expire January 8th. On the original motion to extend is actually
I noted that as well.
Expiring again.
Yeah, no, I noted that as well. Well, and I know you and Monsieur know that in normal civil litigation, in fact, I just wrapped up a 2-day trial yesterday when we were litigating events that occurred, essentially during 2023. It's not at all unusual to have a 2-year delay between the filing of the complaint and the actual trial. However, unfortunately, in PPO world, they're shorter terms. So sometimes you get into this situation where you have the hearing and it's almost, the PPO is almost up to its expiration date anyway. So, all right, Mr. Krupp. Well, in any case, I think it is appropriate to take testimony and I can make a ruling. So if you'd like to call a witness.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to call my client, Cassie Jaffe.
All right, Ms. Jaffe, would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed, Mr. Krupp.
Thank you. Ms. Jaffe, you're the respondent in both cases, is that correct?
Yeah.
And just for the record, there's a Kathy Marashi versus you, which is 24-00215-PH, and then there is a Elaine Dalcher 24-00022PH. Is that correct? So there's two PPOs?
Yes.
Okay. And you're the respondent in both, and Kathy Marachi is respondent or the petitioner in one, and Elaine Doucher is the responder, the petitioner in the other. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So a original PPO looks like it was entered back in 2024 because that's the case numbers. And then there was extensions requested. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. We had a hearing, reading back, I think it was in 2024. Is that correct?
Probably. I'm not great with numbers.
Okay. They had requested an extension. It appeared dated June 8th, 2025, and an objection was filed. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you don't want to have the PPOs continue to be extended and extended?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Can you explain to me why you do not want them extended?
Because I have no contact with them and I'd like to just move on and be happy and repair our neighborhood.
Okay. Has there been any issues or instances with these people, I guess, in the last year?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe to the court what instances you've had with them?
They have.
And just for record, you need to designate whether it's Kathy
Okay.
or Elaine. Why don't we just start with Kathy? Let's break it down that way. So explain to me, have you had any interaction with Kathy in the last 12 months?
No.
Okay. No issues, no complaints, no nothing. Okay. So there's been nothing with Kathy, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now with Elaine, has there been any issues with Elaine?
Yes.
Okay. And what has happened recently with Elaine?
Elaine followed me down the sidewalk, yelling at me and harassing me when I went to a chiropractor's appointment, and that happened 2 days ago.
Okay. And you had to run away from her?
I had to run away from her and cross the street.
Okay. Was she talking to you or were you talking to her?
She was repeatedly asking me questions and trying to get me to engage with her, and I did not.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I could place an objection, and I have no problem in the sense that if he's bringing this up for background and we would have the opportunity to respond, but we're here today only on the question of when you, Your Honor, when you signed the extension, was that proper when you signed that? We're not here to talk about what's happened since then. Even though I'll want to follow up on what she said, I want to clarify.
No, I understand the objection. However, in PPO world, you're absolutely correct, Ms. Hurd, that in chronological order, I signed an extension and it would only be events through the date of the extension. However, because of these delays that, the amount of time it takes to get these hearings in PPO world, because I have such discretion to make these decisions, I will take into consideration the totality of the circumstances. So in short, I'll allow testimony about things, even though they occurred after I signed the extension of the PPO. My intention today is to make a ruling based on the totality of the circumstances. So I understand the objection. However, I'm going to overrule it. I'll allow the testimony and I'll weigh it in the context of what I'm going to refer to as the totality, even though in a legal and chronological sense, you're absolutely right, Ms. Hurd. We're venturing into Judge Rossi's procedure on PPOs here, perhaps rather than the strict chronology of the filings. So,
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Cassie, do you feel that the Miss Marashi is using, well, actually you said you've had no interaction with Kathy, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall when you had the last time, the date that you had the last interaction with her?
It would have been over 3 years ago.
Okay. And as far as Elaine, you said in the last year you haven't had any interaction with her other than this issue that happened Monday where she approached you?
Exactly.
Okay. Did she call the police on you?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And I guess, do you feel like you're a prisoner in your own home?
I am a prisoner in my own home.
Okay. Do you think they're using the PPO basically offensively?
I'm going to object. I know leading.
It is, but we could it's the day before Thanksgiving. We can spend the next 5 days doing this. It's fine.
No,
Let's do 5 days and, I mean,
Yeah.
All right,
Objection,
well,
Your
I'll
Honor.
sustain the leading objection for now. Can you rephrase the question?
sure. Describe your feelings as it relates to having a PPO hanging over you.
Every day I live in worry because I never know when the cops will come to my house because Elaine has lied about something. Every day I'm scared to death to be seen in my house with lights on. I haven't been in my backyard in 2 years. I'm scared to death to leave the house. I have to record every second of my life because of how many times they've made lies about me that could have very much damaged me and already have damaged me. I just live in constant fear and worry every second. And it's proven by my doctor records. My doctor's been well aware of this and how it has hurt me. And I would do anything to make sure Elaine and Kathy feel safe. And I avoid them and I keep myself locked in a room so that they can live their lives and be happy. All I do is leave and walk to a chiropractor's appointment once a week. That's my only thing I do. And they seem to know when I leave and go because of what happened 2 days ago when I was going to my chiropractor appointment, which is already stressful for me to leave the house. And that's when Elaine chased me down the sidewalk.
Objection, we're just doing run-on testimony now.
I'm sorry I talked so much.
Okay, well, they're right. That was a narrative response. However, it was an open-ended question, and I'll overrule the objection. I think testimony was pretty well finished anyway. So, all right, you may continue, Mr. Crump.
Thank you. With the PPO in place, then obviously you've described it's inhibiting your life.
It's ruined my life. I can't live a life.
Can you explain to the court why you think they're using the PPOs at this point offensively?
I think they're using it to make.
Your Honor, objection. Again, I understand what you're saying about totality of the circumstances, but I thought legally today is about, and I understand what you're saying, the today though is very much about, and we have noticed because we could prepare, and what we prepared for today was to talk about that question of was it, they're challenging your decision to extend it. And we're going in a lot of different directions that we weren't prepared, and in terms of witnesses and other things to prepare for. So I'm asking that we stay, even though I understand you're willing to hear parts of it. I'm asking that that they and us have to stay within the reason that we were noticed to be here.
Okay, no, I understand the objection, and as I said, just the nature of timing here has forced me to expand, if you will, the PPO practice, and the fact that I've also noted on these matters, if I get it wrong, for example, and they go up on appeal, well, that doesn't help you very much because by the time the Court of Appeals receives and processes an appeal and decides on it, it's often a year later, and the PPO is done and gone. So, the timing on these has sort of forced me into this situation where I do consider the totality. I'll overrule the objection and allow the testimony.
Okay. I appreciate that we have all the objections. Now I can't remember what the exact question was, in a sense. I mean, that's probably Ms. Jared's point.
I think your question was, does she feel like the PPO has been utilized as a weapon against her?
Can you explain do you feel that it's been utilized offensively?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you explain to the court why you feel it's been offensively used by Elaine and Kathy?
I believe they're doing this to drive me out of my house and drive me out of my neighborhood because they got caught building a fence 2 feet through my yard and they don't want to have to move the fence away. So their plan was to get rid of me, drive me crazy and get me out of the neighborhood, not make me feel safe, make me feel unwanted. With all the block parties they've thrown over the last 2 years, 4 or 5 block parties where I'm not invited and where the rest of the neighbors are harassing me on their behalf, basically telling me to get out of their neighborhood because it's their neighborhood.
Okay.
They did not want to be caught with a survey that proved that the fence they built was in my yard and they lied about it. And that's when all the issues started.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't know how to do maybe my tech advisor can help me here. Doing a shared screen When you went to the chiropractor on Monday, you actually videotaped yourself in defense, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you provided that to me, a copy of it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'd ask that the record reflect, it was that Will Porting guy. I guess we should ask to both disclose whoever's in the rooms. It looks like there's a third person in their room.
I think that's fair. Who do you have assisting you there, Mr. Cook?
Will Porting guys,
Thank you.
being the tech guy.
Very good. No, thank you.
I'm just trying
And
to.
he's not going to be a witness today, Mr. Porter?
No, I don't think we need him, but I'm trying to figure out how to do the share screen here. Let's see.
No, I appreciate the shared screen, and as long as we don't need to exclude him as a
Well, actually,
potential
let me see
witness.
if I can do.
You can type it. I'll type it for you.
And for the
Oh.
record, I couldn't do the shared screen either, Mr. Krupp, so you don't have to feel too bad.
Yeah, no, I've never been good at the shared screen thing. Yeah. Do you need that?
Just a second, sorry guys.
Is it that?
I got it. This is my-
Okay. You have to type in a password, right? Sorry.
Yeah, on the subject of technology, you'll notice I've added a pair of headphones because I dropped my laptop and it apparently damaged the speakers in there, my county laptop. There's a request in for either repair or replacement that hasn't been serviced yet. So there's my level of technology. I can't even keep mine off the floor.
Let's see the other thing I just downloaded it. And I can okay, YouTube. Of course, there's a gigantic string.
So you'll see what happened. Uh-oh.
You type it in wrong.
Porno thing or something.
I don't know why you can't just share the screen, but
Not only the other thing is I can do. Let's do this. Do that.
It's not only me.
oh, there we go.
Oh, can you do that?
Yeah,
Okay. Copy that and then drop it in.
yeah.
And then,
There we go.
let's see, that doesn't share it.
Nope, and I'll fix that.
So it might be better to copy it
Mhm.
and then drop it in that box. So, let's see.
Nothing like being prepared.
It's nothing like being mouthy. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I was trying to get really prepared and it's not easy.
Ma'am, nobody's.
Does Judge Rossi have to, does Judge Rossi have to allow you to share the screen? To put
Well,
you,
if we're going to take it, otherwise we would just have to take it testimonially. If we're going to take an evidentiary exhibit, then.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
We got it.
Can Your Honor see the video?
I can see it.
is this the story?
Okay.
Awesome.
See if I got volume one.
Yep, we do.
Okay. Okay. Cassie, I'm showing you that you can see the beginning of the video. Is this a video that you took?
This is the video I took on my way to the chiropractor.
Okay.
We can't see
We
it.
can't see it anymore.
Huh.
It's just a black box.
It was very dark that night.
Very dark that night. This is not a night. So. There we go. Is that up? Is it up at this point, shared? It says it's sharing. Is it
Just a
showing?
black box.
Black box.
Oh. Should we push on that little thing?
No, we can't do that.
Okay.
It's in their control.
Okay.
We did see part of it for a second though.
Is it showing now?
No.
Yeah, just the black, like a black blank phone screen.
Oh, okay. It's showing on mine, but maybe hold on a second. Stop share. Okay. I think this is the better way to do it is to do this. Yep. Copy. We do. Share. Okay.
Oh,
You
there.
see that?
Yep.
Okay. Make sure I got sound.
Oh. Black screen again.
Nothing?
No, black screen.
Oh, weird. Okay. Can you just email me the actual video, or did you?
I can't, no.
It's too big.
It's too big to email? Okay.
If I can get connected to the internet, I can log into the hearing.
I'll get
And
Sherry.
then,
I'll Sherry and get her email.
Yeah, just ask for the,
Wi-Fi.
Mhm.
All right, well, why don't you proceed while we're waiting for that, Mr. Krupp, with any additional questions that you have?
sure. I don't have any additional questions for my client at this point, other than again showing, and I can, he'll get the problem is the file obviously is a video file, so it's really big. So it's difficult to share. So he had it on the regular Wi-Fi. So it's for some reason having a problem, but I can do an offer of proof. I did see it. Basically what it shows is my client walking away, and it shows.
Your Honor, objection. We can't have Mr. Krupp testify about what a video.
Yeah, let's just hold off. I think your client already testified about what the incident was. Let's hold off until either we can see the video or, and I'll also, Monsieur, do you have cross-examination at this time?
Yes.
You can go ahead.
Thank you. So, Ms. Jaffe, you said that you're the one that was being followed yesterday or a couple days ago?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Isn't it true that you were the one outside that my client was merely walking her dog, and you were the one that was following her taking a video?
Absolute lie.
Okay, but you have a video, so obviously you were videoing. That's not a lie.
Is that a
Is
question?
that a question?
The question is, you have a video about what happened yesterday, correct?
I have a video playing 100% of the time I'm around. Yes, because of the body
Okay,
camera.
I didn't ask why. You have a video about yesterday, correct?
Supposed to
Okay.
do, yes.
Okay, so for you to have a video, you were following her, correct?
Incorrect.
Okay. Let me go back to, your comments about that they got caught with the fence. There was no catching. You and Mr. Portinga, isn't it true, contacted the city back in January of 2025 to complain about their fence, correct?
I have never complained about their fence.
to your knowledge, did Mr. Portinga do that?
Yes, he reported the fence because they built it in my yard without a permit and without a survey and destroyed my property.
Okay. And isn't it true that the reason we're here is about, well, first of all, so what you wanted was for them to move the fence, is that correct?
Wanted when?
Okay, let me rephrase it this way. Let's talk about the lattice. So you know what the lattice is on the top of the fence?
That illegal lattice extension?
Yeah, objection, just please answer the question. The lattice on the top of the fence, you wanted them to take that down, correct?
Not me. That's not correct. I know the fence requirements are at 6 feet tall, and when the lattice was added, it added additional 2 feet, and that's just not city permit, city allowed. It has nothing to do with my opinion about the lattice, and I have never reported their lattice.
So would you be comfortable if they left, had they left the lattice?
They can do whatever they want. It's the city that controls the rules.
Okay, so we'll cover that then. Isn't it true that on the day that, or one of the days when Ms. Dulcher was outside on a ladder trying to take down the vines, that you and, I'll just stay with you, yelled out the window at Ms. Dulcher while she was on a tall ladder removing the vine?
I did not yell at Elaine, and I was inside in a bedroom upstairs changing the sheets on a guest bed.
I didn't ask what you were doing. I said, is it true? You've answered.
I was scared. She was coming in my yard, and I told my husband, please tell her to stop trespassing. And he did.
Okay, isn't it, wait, no, you can't.
Sorry,
And let me clarify, Ms.
Run
Jeffy,
on.
you'll get a redirect from Mr. Krupp to explain the background, but just try to limit yourself to, Ms. Yurt's trying to cross-examine, which are typically going to be yes or no answers. So try to limit yourself, and then Mr. Krupp will give you a chance to explain on redirect if you have explanations that you weren't able to give because of the form of the question. So with that cautionary instruction, you may proceed, Ms. Yurt.
Isn't it true that on the day when that there was a day, you seem to remember a day where Ms. Dulcher was removing vine from the lattice and you yelled at her out the window?
That's not true.
Okay. You're sure on that? You did not yell at her?
No, I told my husband she was trespassing and to call the cops. I would never tell Elaine to call the cops on herself. That doesn't make any sense.
I never said or implied that. Again, my question is, so you're saying, I guess you've said it, that you did not yell at my client to regarding when she was on the ladder removing the vine.
When she was trespassing, coming over in my yard, I told my husband she is trespassing.
Okay.
From upstairs inside my house in a bedroom.
Okay, but you didn't yell at Elaine.
No, I was yelling to my husband.
Okay.
And somehow hears me in my bedroom, which is very questionable how she's
Okay.
recording.
Again, this is yes or no.
Sorry, I
questions.
apologize.
Is it true that your husband, Mr. Portinga, yelled at Ms. Dulcher while she was on the ladder removing the lattice?
It's not true.
Okay. No further questions.
Your Honor, I think our tech situation has been corrected, and I think Mr. Portinga can show the video.
Very good. And then I'll allow a redirect and then a recross after the video.
Okay.
Your Honor, excuse me, but I do want to just place on the record, I strenuously object to this and to the showing of the video. I do, and I understand what the judge is saying and that desire to go totality of the circumstances, but the essence of a court hearing is that we have to be given notice. And they're now going to show a video about something that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
And we have not had the chance to.
It was Monday, Your Honor. It's my
Thank you. Monday. That's something that happened Monday. And they're going to show a video on it. And we have not prepared for talking about what happened 2 days ago. In addition, there was a police officer, my client did have to call the police, we would have subpoenaed that officer because that officer has relevant information. This is,
But the
I just
officer, Your Honor,
strenuously object.
the
Yep.
officer never witnessed anything, so
No, Earl, I understand, and I understand the objection. And as I said, my willingness to take the evidence today, though obviously, if this were a case where we had the luxury of a 2-year window to get through discovery and evidentiary hearings and things like that before the case was decided, ultimately, it would be out of order. I'm also just thinking out loud here. Well, this, by its own terms right now, expires on January 8th. And I know my schedule between now and January 8th. I wouldn't have time to get in a hearing, excuse me, between the holidays, where I'm taking some time off and then my other trial schedule. I simply wouldn't be able to have the hearing on it before January 8th. So I'll take the evidence subject to the objection today, but I'll also accommodate in my ruling the fact that there wasn't an adequate amount of preparation on the late produced evidence. So again, I guess I'm sort of acknowledging the reality of how the PPOs and their timing work by allowing the evidence at this time. But your objection is noted, and I think chronologically and in terms of notice, you're absolutely correct, Ms. Herod. You weren't provided the video ahead of time because it only happened 2 days ago, and this is late breaking news, as they used to say, I think, on news broadcasts. So with the objection noted, I'll watch the video now and I'll make a ruling. In that ruling, I'll try to accommodate the fact that, we're proceeding out of order here just by necessity, as it were. So you may proceed, Mr. Crow.
thank you.
Again, Your Honor, I'm confused. So is it true that all your decision, though, is not going to be about a renewal? Your decision, am I right? Just so I understand, your decision is still going to be about what was noticed today, which is what they're contesting is your decision, Your Honor's decision to extend. But am I right? We're not here. This isn't our only chance to request another extension. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
It will be the case that will never end. Can we just schedule a hearing for the next one? There'll be another one, so I might as well just get a date right now.
Well, and as I reviewed it, it occurred to me that and I'm not even sure now where I think it's statutory that PPOs only can last 5 years. I have a handful of them. I think one that I inherited involving a news anchor and some misguided fan who just would not stop pestering her, where we actually did extend the PPOs and they were in place for up to 5 years. So never end is a little bit of a exaggeration. However, they can go on, by the statute for up to 5 years. So, and we're only at the midway point of that. So, in some respects, that's an accurate statement. So, why don't we roll the tape over the objections? I understand the objections, and I'll make my ruling accommodating as best I can the facts on the ground.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Can everybody see the video?
Yes.
Okay.
And hear it.
I'm getting no sound.
No sound.
Down.
Same here.
Paradox.
What's going on? God.
Okay. Ms. Jaffe, you saw the video that was just played? Okay. You need to speak up. You need to.
Yes, I did see it.
And that video is what you took?
Yes, I was on my way to my doctor's appointment.
Okay. And there was a video of a house across the street. Who lives there?
Kathleen Bloomreich and Diana Pace.
Okay. And they were looking across the street when you left?
Yes, they were outside as soon as I came outside.
Okay.
Objection, just to clarify who they is.
Kathleen Bloomreich.
And you're walking to your chiropractic appointment?
That's correct.
Okay. It appears that on the video it shows, is it Elaine?
Yes,
Okay. And was Elaine that, it sounds like she was saying to you, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on?
that's correct.
Okay. Do you have any idea why she would engage with you?
Objection, speculation.
Okay. Got it. You engage with her in that video?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Did it appear that she was trying to engage with you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have any reason why she'd be yelling at you, hey, what's going on?
Objection, speculation.
No, it's not speculation. I'm asking her if she knows why she she has a right to.
Yeah, I'll overrule the objection. You may answer if you have an idea.
Do you have any reason why she'd be engaging with you?
She's trying to get me to respond to her so she has some complaint to continue this PPO on forever.
Okay. You came home from your chiropractic appointment, right?
Correct.
Okay. And what happened after you came home from your chiropractic appointment?
I walked home the same way I left, and when I turned the corner to see my house, I saw 2 police officers pulling up and parking in front of my house that Elaine called, and then I saw the police go inside of Elaine's house, where they remained inside of Elaine's house for about 45 minutes.
Okay. You didn't contact the police?
No, I did not, because I was at my doctor's appointment and I hadn't returned home yet.
Okay. And did they, well, I guess that'd be a hearsay. So at this point, that was the end of the incident with Elaine. That was the only interaction with her, correct?
The only interaction over 3 years.
Okay. And then with Kathy, again, you haven't had anything to do with her, is that correct?
No, that's
Okay.
correct.
And for how long has that been?
Over 3 years, maybe 4 or 5.
Okay. And it appears they're tag teaming the PPOs, that they each get PPOs against you.
Objection, leading, tag term,
That's fine.
tag team.
Anyway, yeah, Your Honor, I have nothing further.
I'll sustain the objection and disregard the testimony. All right, and Ms. Yard, you may
Well, actually,
cross-examine.
I have no questions for Ms. Jaffe.
Okay.
Very good. All right, then, thank you, Ms. Jeff. You may step down from the witness stand. Any additional witnesses or evidence to present at this time, Mr. Krupp?
Sure, I would like to call Lee, Delcher.
All right, very well, Ms. Delcher. If you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely. Swear to God, my testimony will be the truth and nothing but the truth.
Thank you. Mr. Krupp, you may proceed. And I take it you're going to treat Ms. Delcher, she's the opposing party, as a hostile witness and cross-examiner?
Correct. Ms.
Very
Delcher, and quite frankly, I don't have very many questions for you. Ms. Delcher, you saw the video that was just played, correct?
I did.
And that was you with your dog?
That was me with my dog.
Okay, and you were approaching Ms. Jaffe?
Well, I didn't know it was Miss Jaffe. She had a cat.
You said you didn't know it was her, but you agree at
No.
this point that was her. Would
I
you
do
agree?
because, may
Okay,
I
that's all,
tell
that's,
the story?
ma'am. Would you
And
agree
just
that
for
was-
your information as well, Ms. Delcher, the way, of course, it goes is Mr. Krupp will ask his questions, and then I'll give Ms. Yard an opportunity to
Okay.
redirect you so
Yeah.
you can explain more fully if you need to.
So, I'm sorry, Mr. Krupp, would you ask your question again?
Sure, ma'am. You, in that video, you approached Ms. Jaffe. Would you agree?
I approached a person at the end of the driveway.
Ma'am, it's pretty clear. Number one, you acknowledge
But
the
I did
person in
not-
that video.
I did not
Ma'am,
recognize
ma'am,
it as Miss
ma'am,
Jaffe.
ma'am.
No,
I can appreciate you don't like that video because it doesn't
No.
reflect well on you.
Objection, Your Honor. This
I,
isn't the
I
time
love
to
the video.
comment.
It's fine. It shows
Well,
if,
ma'am, let me ask a question for you. Would you acknowledge the person taking the video was Miss Jaffe?
I do acknowledge that. I have to
Step
just,
two,
can I
step two,
make-
ma'am. No, that's it. It's a quick, easy question. Is that Miss Jaffe? The answer is yes. That is Miss Jaffe. There's nothing wrong with telling the truth. Step two, ma'am, you were walking towards her. Is that correct in that video?
I was walking down my driveway to walk.
Ma'am, it's a simple question. Were you walking towards Miss Jaffe in
No.
that video? You were not walking towards her?
Asked and answered. Objection.
Well, I'm shocked.
Okay, I think you
You're
got the
claiming
answer
video
no.
is not-
So she denied that. That is asked and answered at this point, Mr. Krupp. You can move on to your next
Ma'am,
question.
you were walking your dog. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. And
I
when
was
you were,
approaching a person.
okay, and that person was Miss Jaffe.
I found out later after I passed her that it was Miss
Huh.
Jack.
Okay, well, according to, did you tell the police you approached Miss Jaffe?
I told the police I approached a person that I didn't know was a man or a woman. I couldn't tell. And then I saw they were taking a picture of me and I said, what's going on? I did not. And then I thought, wow, that might be Cassie. So then when I passed Miss Jaffe, I turned around and looked, and that's when I realized it indeed was a woman and it was Miss Jaffe.
Okay, and you kept on approaching or going towards her, is that correct?
I kept walking my dog up the street.
Okay, well, and she's going to a chiropractic appointment, which has a specific location. Would you agree that you could have said, wow, that's Miss Jaffe. I probably shouldn't interact with her. Maybe I'll just hang back a little bit and wait
I
5
was
minutes.
walking my dog. No, I'm just walking my dog.
Just walking your dog.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the police tell me to,
The
police tell me
video,
to,
ma'am, the video said there's nobody else around and you're directing a conversation towards Miss Jaffe. Is that correct?
there's a person who I don't know is Miss Jaffe, and I say, what's going on? Why are you video? I didn't say
Well, you
that.
said repeatedly, I think,
said
what's going on? What's going on?
I
Right?
said 2 times.
2 times, what's going on?
What's
And
going
you're within 30 feet of her, correct?
on? Much closer than that.
Okay, 10 feet of her.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, and you can't
She had a-
recognize her?
She had a cap down over her head. She had baggy pants. She looked she looked always pretty. You know, she's always really well dressed and stuff.
So what? So within
And this
10
time,
feet, you
it
couldn't
looked
recognize
more like a
her?
mannish dress. And so I didn't recognize her, and her hat was pulled down and her coat was up. And I could not tell it was honestly I did not know it was Miss Jaffe until
But ma'am, then you realized it was her.
after I passed.
You could have walked your dog in a different direction or walked away from her, but
I was
instead,
walking away from her.
well,
After
actually,
I
ma'am,
realized who it was, I walked
Ma'am,
away. And I
the video kind of speaks for itself. Wouldn't you agree?
I was ignoring Miss Jaffe, and I was minding my business and walking up the street with my dog.
Okay.
Judge, can we
did
remind the
you
parties to
call-
speak one at a time? I'm getting no record here.
Yeah, please wait till that whole question is finished. And like I said, Ms. Delcher, you're going to get a re-examination by Ms. Yurd
Okay.
where you can explain the situation more thoroughly.
All right.
So, Ms. Dolcher, the video shows you walking your dog down the street, and then it shows actually Miss Jaffe then crosses the street, correct?
She crosses the street.
Okay, presumably to get away from you.
Your Honor, objection, speculation.
Yeah, okay, well, you're walking.
I'll sustain the
behind her.
objection.
That's
You-
right. Ma'am, you're walking behind her towards her, correct?
Just at the end of my driveway for about 10
Again,
feet.
this is a simple question. Would you agree that you were walking behind her towards her? Simple question. I know you're trying to think about how to create a different.
Objection, Your Honor. Mr.
It's a
Krupp-
yes or no, ma'am.
No, my
Yeah,
objection.
I'll sustain the objection. It's argumentative. The witness is formulating her answer. You may proceed with your answer. Were you walking towards her or closing the distance towards Miss Jaffe? That question is going to you at this point, Ms. Dolcher.
As I completed walking down my driveway, I turned up north on Eureka, and Miss Jaffe was facing me with her camera, but I did not know it was Miss Jaffe. So yes, I did approach her for about 10 seconds while I walked up and past her. And that's when I realized it was Miss Jaffe. And like the police say, they say, ignore her behavior. So I just kept walking with my dog, ignoring Miss Jaffe.
Ma'am, you said ignore her behavior. What did she possibly do in that video that interfered with you at all?
She videotaped me walking my dog.
And you're coming towards her and you have a PPO against her, right?
I did not know I was walking towards Miss Jaffe.
Okay, yeah. And you got back to your home, presumably, correct? And then you proceeded to call the police.
No,
Okay, who called the police?
I called the police halfway into my walk when I kept walking, and she followed me all the way up the street, videotaping me. And she didn't really follow me. She was right next to me. And you can see I'm not like.
Well, I saw the video. I think we all saw the video. She actually crosses the street to get away from you, correct?
I don't know.
You don't know? Did you not see the video?
You're
I
not,
saw the video, but I don't know her intention.
Well, you would acknowledge that she was on the same side of the street with you. You're closing the gap on her, and then she crosses the street, correct?
Correct.
This is not rocket science. And you would agree that if you cross the street, she's actually expanding the gap between you and her to not interact with her, correct? Or with you?
I don't understand how I'm supposed to know why she crossed the street.
Well, ma'am, you don't need to know.
Okay, I think she's saying she doesn't know the answer as
Okay.
to why she crossed. She doesn't, of course, know
That's
her
fine.
intentions. She does acknowledge that she crossed the street.
And would you agree when she crossed the street, she actually expanded the gap between you and her, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So she's walking away from you, and then you called the police. Correct? You just said that.
She went up Fairmount.
Ma'am, it's a quick question. Did you call the police?
I did not call the police while Cassie was filming me and while Cassie was in my sight. I waited until I got in a safe distance where I felt I was safe, and then I called the police.
Safe from what, ma'am? She's walking away from you, trying to get away from you. How is that creating something unsafe?
I felt attacked by being videotaped walking my dog.
You felt attacked because you have a PPO against her, and she's walking across the street and expanding the gap between you and her, and you feel afraid. You realize you could acknowledge me, ma'am, you could have just stopped right then and there, correct? Stopped. Let her continue to walk forward, correct? You had the ability to stop in your tracks.
She wasn't walking forward. She wasn't walking forward. She was stopped in her tracks filming me. And I passed her and walked up the street.
Ma'am, you could have
Tried to
stopped right
ignore
then
what she
and there.
was-
Would you agree you could have stopped? Stop in your tracks. I'm afraid. And stop. Or go in the opposite direction, correct?
I don't agree with your reasoning.
Okay, so mobility-wise, you're mobile. You can stop. Would you agree with me that you have the physical ability to stop with your dog?
Yes.
Okay, and you realize that you have the mobility to turn around and walk in the other direction. You're just walking a dog. You're not going in a particular direction, correct?
I am walking my dog in a particular direction.
Okay, but you could walk in the other direction with your dog. Would you agree?
No, I try not to walk my dog in front of Will and Cassie's house because I know it bothers them.
Well, you knew that.
Sometimes I do if I'm going somewhere, but I try to walk always away from their house.
So, ma'am, you realize that that's Cassie is walking in that particular direction, and so she's not at her house. Wouldn't that be logically make sense?
Not really.
Would you agree? She's obviously not at her house. You're seeing her walk in the opposite direction.
I would disagree with that.
You would disagree with it? Okay, so how do you think she's at the house if you just saw her walking in the opposite direction?
She was stopped and she was facing me. This person, who I did not recognize as Cassie, was stopped about 10 feet outside of my driveway, videotaping me.
Ma'am, I can appreciate wanting to
And
rewind.
she was facing me, so I was passing her. She was facing me with her video camera, and I didn't know it was her, but I still kept walking to get away from that person.
So you're walking in her same direction to get away from her?
She was facing me, so she's
Well,
facing
ma'am, we
like
all
this,
saw the
and I
video.
walked that way.
We all saw the video.
But you didn't see me.
Objection. Mr. Krupp continues to say, we all saw the video. That speaks for himself. And then he questions her about all these details.
Okay, ma'am, so we'll move on. So while you're on your walk, you're claiming that you called the police, right?
During my walk, I called the police.
Okay. And what did you tell the police?
I said that I had a
Actually, ma'am, you tell me, I have a copy of the police report. I'm gonna read you the police report and you tell me if this is true.
Objection, Your Honor. Again, this is the reason why notice matters.
This is.
No, let me complete my objection.
Okay.
This is the reason, Your Honor, why notice matters. So he has a police report in front of him. He's now gonna read the report to her. We're on Zoom, which I objected to having this hearing on Zoom, which prevents him from providing me with a copy of it. And I had no notice that we would be here today talking about something that happened 2 days ago that has absolutely nothing to do with her objection. I object to him bringing in a police report, having her read it at all.
I'm not admitting the police report as an exhibit, Your Honor, but I have an absolute right she's a hostile witness and also it's effectively cross-examination. The good old rules of evidence, you can cross-examine somebody. Actually, the classic person was Professor Rossi from Cornell, who says you can cross-examine anybody with anything. Even a quote, the bowl of soup was the classic line that he used to use in the Barbary evidence refresher.
I'll note Professor Rossi was no relation of mine. I'm the first lawyer on either side of my family. But well, in this case, the question is can a police report, which purportedly includes a party's statement, be used for cross-examination as a prior statement? And normally, of course, you're correct, it could be. However, I will note that it hasn't been produced to the other side. Ms. Yurda hasn't had the ability to review the police report and prepare that portion of the hearing. So I'll sustain the objection as it regards the police report. You can, of course, examine her about what she told the police, but the police report's out for now.
Oh, yes, and I wasn't planning on admitting it. Ma'am, did you advise the police that you had an active personal protection order against Cassie Jaffe and you were outside walking your dog? Cassie was outside harassing you and recording you. Cassie was last seen with a green baseball cap, dark Carhartt overcoat, and brown pants. Did you say that when you called the police?
I said she was wearing brown pants, and I did say she was wearing a dark hat, which was wrong because when she came back, I saw the hat was light. I was just really kind of that overcoat and the brown pants and boots is what I told them.
Okay, and you told them that she was harassing you.
I told him she was filming me.
Well, you didn't say that she was harassing you?
No.
Do you have any idea why they would have that in the police report?
Again, Your Honor,
All right, I'll sustain the objection. The police report.
I'll withdraw that part of it. And it says, let's see. And the police then came to your home because you called them, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And you said that you were taking your dog for, you told the police that you were taking your dog for a walk. Right?
yes,
Okay. And that you walked down the driveway and Cassie had passed your home completely in the sidewalk, correct?
yes,
She was not in your property at all.
no,
Okay. And you would agree that she has an absolute right to walk down the sidewalk.
yes,
Okay. Um, and you indicate that, Cassie walked, you told, you indicated that, she walked by you and didn't say any word to you, right? Didn't say one word to you. Correct?
I did not say that to the police, I don't think.
Okay. Sorry.
She did not say a word to me, but I don't think I told them, the police that.
Okay.
I told the police I was freaked out because was filming me the whole time I was walking my dog.
Who was?
So her walking down the street warrants calling the police.
No,
Ma'am, did you have any kind of a signal set up with the person across the street that as soon as she walked out the house that you were gonna then walk your dog?
absolutely not.
Okay. You know the people across the street, correct?
Yeah, we
Okay.
were having breakfast here.
Okay, ma'am, again, it's pretty, if we stay on point, we can get through this. So you know the people across the street, you said yes, correct?
I do, yeah, they're my best friends.
Best friends, okay, exactly. And you saw them outside of the
I
house,
did not.
correct?
No,
You
I
did
did
not?
not.
Okay. Just coincidence, you happen to take your dog for the walk at the same time as she's walking to her chiropractic appointment.
Yes,
Okay. And you're saying that because she was afraid you were gonna make some false allegation and call the police, that she videotaped the situation because she was afraid of a false allegation. Would you agree?
Objection, compound question. I didn't understand it. And there's different, now there's three.
Yeah, and I'm going to sustain the objection. It also calls for obviously speculation as to
That's fine.
what the intention
Ma'am,
was.
Ma'am, would you agree that actually you also videotape Miss Jaffe as quote self-protection, correct? You videotape her historically?
I have on minor occasions, and then we do have a Nest camera that does videos like in our yard kind of thing.
And it actually covers their yard as well, doesn't it?
Just a tiny part of their yard.
Right, but so you videotape their yard.
And they videotape our yard.
No, it's not your turn. No, I mean, we try not to pay any attention to Cassie and Will.
Okay. Would you agree that it's not unreasonable to feel defensive when you pass somebody on the street and they call the police within an hour?
I don't understand the question.
Well, would you agree that Miss Jaffe has a reason to feel defensive?
I can't understand her feelings. I really can't.
You think that she should, well, would you agree that when you walked up to her and said, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? If she actually would have responded to you, that would have been a PTO violation, right?
Well, I didn't know it was Miss Jaffe when I said that.
Why would you walk up to somebody and say, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on?
Because here's this person, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, and they're videotaping me. And
well, why would you approach somebody you didn't know?
I was walking my dog.
Would you agree, ma'am, that if she responded to you, that would have been a PPO violation?
Asked and answered.
But she never answered it. I agree
All
with
right,
that. This is
I'll
what I-
allow the question. Yeah, you may answer if you can.
You're acting as if I knew it was Miss Jaffe. So I was trying to find out what's going on and why is this person filming me? I didn't know it was Miss Jaffe.
Okay, ma'am, let's assume that it was Miss Jaffe.
No, I don't want to do an assumption.
Okay, well, ma'am, the bottom line is, and it's a pretty straightforward question. I mean, we've been litigating this for, actually, we're not, at this point, knocking on 2 years. And you're telling me that when you called the police, that you would agree that if she uttered one word to you, then you obviously already called the police, but that would have been a violation and you would have filed a violation, right?
Speculation.
Well, I don't know if you could necessarily do your own objections, but I think you
She
answered
didn't
it.
object. She answered it would be speculation.
Yeah, it wasn't a legal objection. It was
That's
just, that was her response.
Yes, so ma'am, would you agree? And, we'll start working back, we'll work backwards. So we're in November, would you agree, other than that interaction with Miss Jaffe during the month of November, you've had no interactions with her, correct?
Objection is to confusing as to what time frame. he's
Okay, I'll
talking
make it
about.
really close. So ma'am, during the month of November, 2025, so we're talking now, this November, other than the Monday incident where you called the police, you've had no interaction with Miss Jaffe, correct?
In November?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. In October of 2025.
Your Honor, again, I'm going to object. We've spent an hour and we're mostly talking about something that happened 2 days ago. We were not noticed to discuss. Wait, now, let me complete my.
Yeah, let's get a complete objection out, and then I'll let you respond, Mr. Krupp.
We were not noticed that we were having a hearing today about things that happened from July moving forward. The notice, the only reason we're here, and I told my clients this, the only issue here today is they're contesting Your Honor's decision to extend the PPO. That has nothing at all legally, and we're not prepared. You know, he brought this up, so I'll have to do some questioning, but we're an hour into it, and we're focused on something that happened 2 days ago that has nothing, no basis.
Done with the question in that direction, so I'm not sure.
All right, what's the response, Mr. Krupp, on the expanding the scope of the hearing regarding events of the last 6 months rather than those preceding July?
I'm getting there, Your Honor. I'm working my way backwards to figure out when she's going to tell me the last contact is with Miss Jaffe.
Okay, I'll agree it might have some limited relevance for the reasons I stated before. I'll overrule the objection. You may ask the question.
And I'll be even more expansive so we can move it along quicker. Ma'am, would you agree from June 2025 to through October 2025, you've had no interaction with Miss Jaffe?
I've had no verbal interaction with Miss Jaffe.
Okay. Has she done anything to harm you?
I mean, I suppose words aren't harming.
Well, you just said that you didn't have any conversation or any communication with her in 6 months, so, and you agreed to that, right?
Well, it was like after our September 12th hearing when we had to like postpone that hearing till today. Like that next morning, Cassie was on her porch and she was not speaking to me directly, but she was saying perverts this and perverts that. And she often calls us perverts, and it was hurtful.
Ma'am, so is she not allowed to speak on her own porch?
She is. I'm just saying, You
Okay.
said, has
So,
she done anything that,
has she physically had any contact with you?
no, I told you she didn't speak to me.
Okay, she had, and
But
then
that was
I'm asking a question too, which is, have you had any physical contact with her since June?
No,
Okay. Let's go back from June. So June to February, have you had any contact with her?
oh, I'll have.
Of
may I check
twenty
my
twenty-five?
calendar? Um,
You need the calendar.
Objection, Your
You
Honor.
can't have the other.
I'm not prepared to
You
be in.
can't vote.
Objection. So the reason we asked for the extension is very specific, and it's about an issue. The focus of it is an issue that happened regarding when.
This is a code.
When Miss.
I just
Hey,
want
hang on,
to.
let me get the objection in,
It's not an
Mr. Krupp,
objection.
then I'll hear your
Yes.
response. Yet, no, it started as an objection. Go ahead, Ms. Yard.
The reason we're here, the reason we asked for the extension, we have to look at those, that's the issue here. And it relates primarily to an incident that when my client was
I'm
on.
not hearing a rule of evidence that is being
You're
affected.
gonna keep
Hang on, let
interrupting.
me get Ms. Yard's out, objection. I'll give you the response, Mr. Krupp.
It relates to an incident, primarily to an incident that happened when she was on the ladder, taking away some vines. And now you're here to ask her to remember all these different things that happened. And again, the notice matters. We're here based on a specific document we filed. The judge reviewed it. The judge extended the PPO. And again, I'm objecting to the scope of this cross-examination. And
Very
we're
good
running out
response,
of
Mr.
time.
Krupp.
Sure, that's not a legal objection at the end of the day. I'm asking her, this is all about, quite frankly, I need a PPO because I'm terrified. There's been awful things happening to me, and I'm exploring that. That's totally relevant to ask her the question. She's claiming that, quote, she's not prepared. Quite frankly, she should be, because it's her issue with this PPO, claiming that she's terrified and there's all these issues. The fact that she's not prepared is not really an objection. I'm not hearing this is inadmissible because of a court rule. I'm still waiting for Ms. Yard to utter a court rule that would make something inadmissible or make the question inappropriate. All she's doing is just saying her client is not prepared. That's not really my problem. And I appreciate now we're having Kathy hand her documents, I guess, so they're handing notes between each other. That's concerning.
No, wait. No.
Now she's showing her the notes.
Elaine, I respond now, Elaine.
All right.
No.
Let me hear from Ms. Yard again,
relevant.
and then I can make a ruling on the objection. Go ahead, Ms. Yard.
Relevance, that's what I'm saying, out of the scope of the relevance of why we're here today.
Well, Your
Okay.
Honor already ruled that, hey, because given the nature of the beast, that we're going to go backwards. And quite frankly, I'm working in time backwards, which I think is totally appropriate. But I keep on getting interrupted by Ms. Yard. We could be done at this point, but I keep on getting objected to by Ms. Yard when I'm merely asking her questions related to her PPO. I'm not asking her what she had for dinner last night. I'm asking her specifically about her interactions with my client. That's what we're here about. It's
Okay, and the last question that I heard on the table was between February, I believe, and July 2025, which would be during the scope of the extension period, with the exception of perhaps the end of July there, because that's about when I granted the extension. I'll overrule the objection and allow the question at this time. You may proceed, Mr. Krupp.
Thank you. Ms. Dolcher, is Kathy handing you notes? She's grinning next to you.
no,
Did she hand you something?
she handed me my timeline. So
Okay, well,
that you were at-
Judge, we can't do this where they're tag teaming and handing each other notes. That's not how this works.
Okay, well, you can cross-examine her on what the notes contain, and
Ma'am, I want you to put away all your notes.
Objection. Again, this is again, I asked that this not be a Zoom hearing, and this is one of the so many reasons why. This is a problem, and
The problem is
you
that
don't
our
get to
client is-
demand.
hang on, let me get the objection in, and then I'll give you a response, Mr. Krupp.
Mr. Krupp does not have the power to make demands to Ms. Dolcher.
Okay, well, Your Honor, I want the record to know that she has no personal recollection of anything, and that they're handing notes between each other, and now she's looking at then now giving me the chagrin. They're handing notes to each other to help each other. That's a problem when you talk about testimony. They shouldn't be handing each other notes.
I'm going to ask.
She
I'm not-
acknowledged, yes, I handed her a note.
All right, so
Well-
the objection is to the exchange of
I have no
documents
idea.
between the two parties who are seated next to each other. Ms. Yarad, response?
Yes, I'm going to keep saying it. This is a problem with Zoom hearings. I want to ask my client what I would do in court, and I'll do right now. Kathy, I'm going to ask that you remove yourself from this square, and that so that they won't see your expressions. And again, this is one of my reasons I objected to Zoom hearings.
Yeah, no, I understand, and it is a problem with Zoom hearings in general in that we don't have the same witness stand and setup that we do in the courtroom, where we can focus on just the witness's testimony unassisted by, another person seated next to him or whatever. So I would agree that the passing of notes or things of that nature are not allowed during a Zoom hearing. So I would ask to refrain from passing any notes. If you need to refresh your recollection at some point, Ms. Yarad can allow the notes and we can explain what's being utilized. However, the part of the other artificiality, of course, is that Mr. Krupp's not able to see what's being used to refresh recollection like we could in the courtroom. So for now, let's refrain passing notes. If you don't remember the answer, the timeline, you can simply say so. So the objection as to, I guess this began as Ms. Yarad's objection, while Mr. Krupp's objection to the passing of notes with that instruction from the court. You may continue, Mr. Krupp.
Thank you. Elaine, has Kathy left the room?
She has not left the room, but she's left the other side she's left the area.
Your Honor, she needs to leave the room because I don't know if she's doing hand signals. I don't know what's going on.
She's not. No, she's not. So
Okay, well, and I guess because insofar that I have two PPOs here, and I have consolidated both of these hearings because I think the extension is essentially the same for both PPOs. However, she is a witness, so she should be. And the hearing actually is both parties, so I guess she's entitled to be present for the hearing. She just can't assist her, the other witness. So.
Ma'am, do you have notes in front of you?
am I the ma'am to whom you are referring?
I'm sorry, yes. Miss Doucher, do you have notes in front of you?
It's to the side of me that I can't see really.
Oh, no, not see really. Can you remove
Turn
those
them over.
from your presence?
I turn them over.
Okay. Can you put them on the floor?
Your Honor, come on.
All right, we'll take your word
I'm
for
quite
it that they're
frankly, I don't
turned
trust her
over.
because of what we've already
That'll
seen.
be sufficient.
Okay.
You may proceed.
That's fine. Ma'am, and I ask the question, I give credit for the fact that everybody's doing their best to help you out, but from the original question that I asked that you didn't have an answer for, from February to July, what interaction have you had with Ms. Jaffe? And your answer originally was you didn't have an answer. You just kind of stood there and looked at the screen. What exact interaction have you? What interaction?
I think she understands the question, Mr. Krupp. Let her answer.
Yep.
Finally, I understand the question. Okay, so that was, okay. So I will answer the question. On April 23rd, I had an interaction with Cassie Jaffe,
Of what year?
2025.
Okay. And what was that interaction?
The interaction was that we had received a notice from the city to remove the lattice that topper on our fence.
Okay, and you agree that Ms. Jaffe did not give you any notice? How was that interaction with her?
Pardon me?
How is the city giving you a notice that you're violating an ordinance, contact with her? She does not work for the city, correct?
you keep jumping into what I'm trying
Yeah,
to
I think
say.
she wasn't finished with the answer
Wait,
yet,
wait,
Mr. Krupp. So why don't you let her give the narrative answer on that she started on the 23rd, and then you can follow up with further questions. So you may proceed.
We'd gotten the notice on early in January, and we'd asked if we could extend the removal time to the spring because it was the middle of winter and that would be hard to do. And Inspector Allen said we could do that. So when the weather got good, we called Mr. Allen and we said, we're going to take down the lattice today. And so he said, that's a good idea. So, and so we went out into the yard. We weren't going to remove the lattice. We were going to have a guy coming. And so we were out there before him so that we could remove the vines that had grown into the lattice over the year. And so I got out of the ladder and Kathy was helping me, and I got up on the fence, on the lattice, up on my ladder to the top, near the top, so I could reach over and clip the lattice and get it out of the lattice by the time our handyman Brad got there to actually remove the lattice. So when I was up on the fence, then up on the ladder, removing those vines for the safety of the vines, then Cassie yelled at me. She said, get your hands off my property. And then Will came out on the back porch and said, get your hands off that fence or I'm calling the cops. And then Cassie said, call the cops.
Ma'am, are you looking down, reading something?
No.
Okay, you're looking down.
Okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be. I should be looking forward because this is an honest statement of mine and I'm not trying to hedge here. So, and I have a video of that interaction that
Okay, so that was the interaction that you had with Cassie on that day. It was in April 2025, correct?
April 23rd, 2025.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
Okay, and no, we're good. Any other, that was the interaction you had from January 2025 until July, correct? Correct, ma'am?
To the best of my recollection, yeah. Most of the interactions were with Will, but yeah.
Okay. And Miss Jackie didn't threaten you, correct?
No, there was one other time, I didn't really understand why, but she was out in the backyard with Will.
Well, ma'am, you gotta answer the question. Yeah, I appreciate you want to go into another direction.
No,
Hold on a second.
Well, I think she was recalling another incident, Mr. Krupp. So let me get that out, then you can cross-examine on both.
Whether she threatened her, and she never answered that. She started going into a diatribe in a different direction. Ma'am, did Miss Jackie on April of 2025, you had this lattice incident, did she threaten you with any bodily harm?
Not with any bodily harm, but she did threaten to call the police and her tone was very angry and mean.
Okay. Would you agree that anybody and everybody has an absolute right to call the police, including you, actually, right?
Of course.
Okay. So how is I'm going to call the police a threat towards you?
It's directed at me in an angry tone. And it doesn't feel safe to me.
Huh.
When people
say that the police are the epitome of safety?
I'm not talking about the police. I'm talking about.
Well, she's saying I'm going to call the police. And usually when somebody does that, they're calling the police because the police represent a safe haven or safety. Would you agree? That's why people call the police? You can just say yes. You don't need to. I can tell you're trying to formulate a
objection, Your Honor. No.
All right. Yeah. No. Let's give the witness time to respond, Mr. Krupp.
Feel free to answer the question.
Well, she's allowed to formulate an answer.
There was a time when we were installing the lattice
Your Honor, I would ask her to be directed to actually answer the question.
that Cassie did call the police about the installation of the lattice. And the police came to her home and told her that when we're working on the fence, we have the right to reach over the fence and the,
Your Honor, I'd request that she be directed to answer the question that I asked her.
Yeah, I don't think
Because the
that's a
question was the
responsive
same.
answer. I get it. It's another interaction with the police. The question was a very broad one, and that was, do you view the calling of the police as a safe haven or, a safe action, whoever does it?
you mean, so you're saying that when people feel threatened, they call the police? And
I think that's, yes, I think that's the
I'm
answer.
totally lost here, so
Okay, well, you can also say I don't understand the question and
I don't
we can
understand
move
the
on.
question.
Okay,
Alright.
ma'am, the questioning went down the direction of you saying that you feel threatened because Cassie said that she was gonna call the police, and you said in a certain tone. Do you recall saying that?
I didn't say I was threatened because she said she was going to call the police. I felt threatened because of the tone she used while speaking to me. In
Okay.
a mean and
And
angry tone.
my question to you was pretty straightforward. Would you agree that typically people call the police because they represent safety and or justice in the situation as far as making sure that there's a keeping of the peace? Would you agree?
You're saying people in general?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
But in this case, Cassie,
So ma'am, so if somebody says, I'm calling the police, wouldn't that be like a neutral person? Hey, I want a neutral person here. They represent
then
safety.
that would be fine.
Okay, and so
Calling
that's
the
what you
police is
said to you,
fine.
correct?
Yeah, I'm fine with her calling the police. That doesn't
Okay, well
bother me
then,
one bit.
so you would agree that saying I'm gonna call the police is not threatening you with any bodily harm, correct?
You're misinterpreting what I'm
No,
saying.
it's pretty straightforward, ma'am. So her saying I'm gonna call the police is not threatening you with bodily harm. You would agree that, correct?
I agree to that. She was not threatening me to
Okay.
call the police. Her tone was mean and angry, and that was threatening. Her threatening tone, I agreed with her that she should call the police.
So you're upset because you feel tone.
Well, we should watch the video and then you can assess for yourself.
It's very straightforward. I'm asking you what you thought. So by her saying I'm gonna call the police, you thought that was a threatening tone,
No,
that you need a PPO because of that, correct?
no, she said, get your hands off my property. And that's what felt threatening to me.
Okay, well, you
And then
would
she
agree,
said, I'll
you would
call the
agree that,
police.
we would agree that you can't be on her property, wouldn't you?
I agree that I'm allowed to work on the fence.
Well,
that-
ma'am, you do an excellent job of distraction. Would you agree that you cannot be on her property by law?
By law, yes.
Okay. We finally got a good answer. Okay. And that was the January to April timeline that we're talking about, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I have nothing further.
All right, redirect, Ms. Sherrod.
Thank you, Your Honor. Let me start, Ms. Belcher. You have the video available for the court to see about the April 23, 2025 incident?
I do.
I'd like you to show that at this point.
Okay.
They don't want to see our video, but they want to.
That was a bittersweet. Yeah. your arm over the fence one more time. I'll follow the cops. Call the cops. Go ahead. Seriously? Yeah.
Trespassing because she wasn't scared enough. Go ahead. I was talking.
What we'll do is we'll get this one off when we take this out of the slot. Because it grew through the lower part. So, yeah, so what we'll do is we'll wait for this catch up because I can't get this started. What? Okay, so we can't get it out of there because it's stuck there, but when we get it out of the thing. So, yeah, what do you want to do with the wall? Well, then, how about we put it up on? You want me to stop it now?
Yes, I mean, it's accurate that that's the end of any exchange that Will and Cassie made.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can stop it. Yeah.
You may proceed, monsieur.
Thank you. So in that video, you were on a ladder, correct?
Yes,
And how old are you?
I'm 73.
Okay.
I was
And
72 then, though.
okay, fair enough. So how did you feel when you heard Ms. Jaffe yell, get off my property?
Well, I was surprised and I was kind of frightened, and I'm not used to being yelled at by my neighbors, and so I was focused on the job I was doing, and I knew I was not doing anything wrong by putting my hand over the fence, and but it was the mean and angry tone, and then Will coming out and saying he's going to call the cops, and you know, it's like, okay, call the cops because the cops have already told you that it's okay for us to work on our fence. And
I would object to any commentation about or comments about what the police said, because we don't have the police here. It's clearly hearsay.
Okay, I'll sustain the objection as to what the police said in the past. You may proceed with your answer.
but yeah, I had to get the job done. We were having somebody come over, so I was just kind of jumpy in my skin and jumpy in my body. But I just wanted to remain calm and get the job done before Brad came over.
Okay. And do you know, or let me ask this, why were you taking the lattice down?
I was taking the lattice down because in early January, we got a notice from Gary Allen, the inspector who had come to our house. And he said, your neighbors next door want you to remove the lattice.
I would object as to hearsay.
Yeah, without saying what Mr. Allen said, just how you responded to it, Ms. Stelter.
Well, actually, it was Kathy who went to the door, and she heard Well, that would be hearsay if I told you what.
Yeah, right. Nothing that she heard or that anyone else said. But
I
I
did
mean,
talk to him, and then he did say we could wait until spring to take it down.
Okay. Um, when, okay, I guess now let's go to the incident that they've brought up, which is a couple days ago. And, describe, first of all, ask me, how often do you walk your dog?
A few times a week. Usually I take her to the dog park or to the woods to run. But a few times a week, we take her for a walk.
Okay. And your house, so let me ask this, Ms. Jaffe's house is south of your house, correct?
That is correct.
And your driveway is on the north side of your house,
That is
correct?
correct.
Okay. So when you walked your dog, which direction were you, as you walked down your driveway, which we saw in the video, which direction did you turn, south or north?
North.
Which would be away from Ms. Jaffe's house, correct?
Correct.
And so you indicated, so when you first saw, you talked about a phone. So when you said someone was videoing you and you didn't know who, describe how you knew they were videoing what were you seeing?
Well, it took me a while to be sure because I was coming down the driveway and there's quite a distance. But then I saw this person holding like in front like this, a phone, facing me. And when I turned the corner out of the driveway, I realized that for sure it was a video camera. And I said, "What's going on? What's going on?" And I did not know at that time that it was Miss Jaffe. And at that point, Miss Jaffe was facing me. And so I just kept walking past this person. And when I turned around, I looked and oh, that is Cassie. Okay, I'm going to just keep going and get away from here. And no, I was never following her. It was very far from the truth.
Okay. And when you, so then you keep walking north, correct?
Yeah, towards.
So where was so it looks like that you are both on what would be the west side of the street at that point. Is that correct? The west side of you on Eureka.
When I passed her, yeah.
Okay, and then what happened?
Passed her, we were both on the north side of the street, and I just kept going, ignoring her. And then she crossed the street, but kept videotaping me. I wouldn't say I was following her. I was just walking my dog, and we were about equal on the street. She on her side and I on my side. And I'd look to check, and yes, she's still videotaping me. So, I'd stop for the dog to pee and hit sniff and where she likes to do that. And I just kept going, and we kind of have for general walk that we do. So I was just following that path.
Okay. And then when you did the block, you did the whole block then that day?
I turned left on Fairmount. And at that point, Miss Jaffe turned right on Fairmount. And then just a little bit on a little jog, Hollister Street goes up, and there's some condos there. And we usually walk that way towards the Green Well. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we were just doing that one big loop that we do.
Okay. And then you called the police while you were walking. You said, was it after you had turned left and she's going the other direction?
Yeah.
Is that when you did?
Yeah.
And
she was no longer in my sight when I called the police.
okay. And why did you call the police?
I called the police because I was pretty freaked out. I was kind of heart beating. It's like, why is she following me? And why is she videotaping me? All I'm doing is walking my dog. And so I'm like, this is really weird behavior. And it's just like really weird. And so I thought I better call the police because I do have a PPO against her. And this might qualify as a I don't know, like maybe she violated it, maybe she didn't. We were on public property, but it looked to me like she like had me in her sights the whole way. And I was trying to get away from her. I was just trying to walk my dog honestly, like a person would in the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you.
And to say that I was like following her or had some ulterior motives, or that I was trying to come down the driveway because somebody called me and told me she was coming out. It's like, that is just so not the kind of life we live.
Okay. So, Mr. Krupp asked in a question about, and he used the person Kathleen Bloomreck, and he implied that somehow the two of you were a part of something together. Did you know whether or not Kathleen came out of the house when you were walking the dog that way?
No, I didn't. I saw that video that Cassie showed, and I didn't, I mean, I didn't, you know, I was just walking down the driveway and turning left. I wasn't paying any attention to who was in somebody's yard, or I was in a hurry to get to work. I just needed to get the dog walked.
Okay.
I was late to work, and yeah.
And so Kathleen Bloomreck lives, is it fair to say, directly across from you?
Almost directly.
Oh, okay. So when you turned left out of your driveway, which was north out of your driveway, once you walk past your property line, she's not, her house is, you're passing her house by, right? I mean, her house is.
Well, her house is way in the back. I mean,
Yeah.
when I turn out my driveway, I cannot see their house. No.
Okay.
And actually, well, okay.
Okay. So Ms. Jaffe testified that you are doing something to make her move out of the neighborhood. You know, respond to that. Is that accurate? That you're harassing her to get her to move out of the neighborhood?
At this point, I'm just trying to leave Will and Cassie alone, mind my own business, do my own thing, pay no attention to them over there unless something is directed at me. And yeah, we try to just live our lives. Sometimes we have to, you know, put up an umbrella in the backyard so their surveillance isn't catching us, you know. Like,
So from videos you've seen in court, is it fair to say their video goes into your yard also?
oh yeah.
And Ms. Jaffe said something about block parties, insinuating you were creating parties with the neighbors to exclude her. Did you organize block parties with an
No.
intent? Did you organize any block parties?
No, not at all. I attend the block parties.
Okay, that's fine. And when you put your hands over, when you're removing the vines, did you think you were doing anything illegal by removing the vines?
No, I didn't. And the reason I knew it was not illegal was because when the officer came.
We're gonna talk about a bunch of hearsay.
Okay, yeah, please don't talk about what the officer said, but outside of that, you may respond.
The officer had assured us in the contract.
Again, we're going down.
Yeah, again, we can't go with the officer's statements here.
Yeah.
Absent that, you can respond.
Okay, well, let me, I think
All right.
you
That's
said
fine.
you already answered that you
Forgive
did
me.
not think
Yeah.
you were breaking the law.
No,
Did you, on that day or other, you know, on that day, did you walk into their yard?
oh no, they have no trespassing signs up.
And even though they have signs, did you anyways walk into their yard?
No,
No further questions.
Okay, all right. Any additional cross-examination, Mr. Crump?
Briefly, ma'am, would you agree that your fence is actually on the Jaffe's property?
we just found out it was recently.
Okay, so when you're reaching over the fence, you're actually on their property. Would you agree?
We set the fence line with Will and Cassie according to him.
It's pretty simple. Again, you do an excellent job of not answering the question.
Okay, no, I did not know I was on their property at
Would
that
you
time.
agree that the fence is, that it's on their property? Would you agree to that? You said yes, right?
I agree to it now.
Okay.
Not,
And-
but
No,
we.
no,
did
ma'am,
not
ma'am,
have
ma'am,
that
ma'am, ma'am, ma'am.
conversation Before.
Hey, yes or no? You love to run on, and would you also agree that your deck is actually on their property? It's a yes or no. Either it is or it isn't.
It is. We
It is.
just found
Okay.
out this
And then
summer.
question number two, they gave you notice that you needed to move those. Would you agree to that?
I don't want, think.
Objection. Now, Your Honor, now we're getting into a fence line, and I do have to redirect on that. But really, we're going to now go into their objections about a fence line. The issue today is when the court.
I'm done. Easy.
Okay. Since it was a redirect, Your Honor.
You may redirect,
I
Mr.
asked two questions.
Thank you.
That's fine.
So since they brought this up, I would like you to explain. You made a comment that you had you said Will and Cassie and you talked about or agreed on where you put your fence. Is that correct? Can you explain what you meant by that?
Yes, when we were putting up the fence, Will and Cassie asked us to move it onto our property. So we used their survey and we staked the line to which they agreed. So we did it, we've moved it over about a foot. Since then, both Will and I have had survey.
Okay, so let me stop you there.
Yeah.
Okay, so and when this happened, where you were communicating, the three of you, and you followed what their survey said, we're talking about years ago?
Yeah, 2022.
Okay, I guess at this point, we are getting very far-fetched. Ironically, Mr. Garrett was objecting to me asking a question about the fence line. And then now we're going into 45 hours of a survey from 5 years ago, it sounds like.
No,
No,
I
no.
understand. She's just giving me the background perspective on this fence line, so I'll overrule the objection. You may proceed.
And then you said in response to Mr. Krupp's question, you made your answer was that yes, I just found out recently that your fence, a part of where your fence is and a part of your deck is on their property. And how did you just find out recently? Why did your opinion of that change?
Because Will had a survey done, a recent survey with more modern equipment. And then we had a survey just to verify that. And we found out that both surveys agreed. And yes, our current fence is slightly on their property.
Okay. And this is what, weeks ago, months ago that you found that you both had these surveys done?
I'm trying to think, probably August or September.
Okay.
I think Will had his done first.
Okay.
Will and Cassie had their, yeah, and their surveyor said they were building a fence, so they wanted to know where the line was.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Then thank you, Ms. Dulcher. You may step down from the witness stand. Any additional witnesses or evidence to present?
Your Honor, I would like to call Kathy Marishi. I was afraid I was going to pronounce it wrong.
All right, Ms. Marishi, you can take the hot seat in front of the video camera at this point, and I'll swear you in.
Okay.
If you'd raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed, Mr. Crow.
Thank you. Ma'am, would you agree from January 2025 and now you've had no interaction with Cassie Jaffe?
From January 2025,
No. That's the time.
except when she yelled over the fence.
Okay, the infamous fence incident that we watched the video of, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. But with that, you weren't reaching over the fence and there was nothing directed towards you, would you agree? At least the video I saw.
Yeah, I was just walking back and forth helping Elaine and
Okay.
they kind
So
of
you really didn't have any interaction with her in that video?
no, I just kind of took it as that she's yelling at both of us.
Oh, okay. I have nothing further, literally one question.
All right, Ms. Sherrod.
No questions.
That's easy. That's That's the fastest witness.
Very good. That was a fast witness. Well, and we are getting close to the 2 hours allocated for the hearing here, so I need to make a ruling on the question of the day, which is the extension of the PPO that I
Your Honor.
granted ex parte back in June that extended the PPO until January of 2026.
Excuse me, Your
And
Honor, can we have closing comments or?
nope, we
No.
don't have enough time for
Okay.
it. So both of you are going to get.
Okay,
I've had all the comment I can fit. So
okay.
the standard for extending a PPO is their conduct, and of course the conduct defined. Though there's a perception that a PPO is put in place for physical danger or threats. Really, my experience with neighbor PPOs is they're focused on one term in the PPO statute, which is harassment. That is unwanted conduct by the other party that is intended to provoke a response from them. Of course, when I ask a question, anyone that's intended to provoke an answer, but provocation in the context of a PPO means, to create an emotional or a confrontational type response. And given that definition, the incident that occurred on April 23rd of 2025, I will note there are two different petitioners here who extended their PPOs, and this conduct was directed at only one of them directly, and that was Ms. Dulcher at the time, who was on a ladder removing some vines in preparation for a contractor to come over and remove lattice work on top of the fence so as to bring said fence into compliance with the city regulations. So as she's doing that, the video does capture Miss Jaffe yelling at her, get off her property. Now, this is, of course, the PPO's in place. Both sides are well aware of it. There's ongoing conflict between the parties. Needless to say, there is no warm feeling between the two parties preceding this, and that is said in a loud and aggressive manner. And further, though I'm not ruling on it today, normally, a homeowner or their maintenance people are allowed to briefly and temporarily access another person's property or cross the property line to perform maintenance on their own property as a matter of property law. So there wasn't, in other words, that idea of a force field or being between the two property lines is not, a reality. And that, of course, as a result, because both persons are maintaining said property line, sometimes it used to be said, well, that strip of line, between the two properties ought to be the best maintained area of all, because you've got both parties interested in maintaining its appearance and taking care of it. In this case, that was what Ms. Dulcher was trying to do in this jointly owned house with her spouse, trying to comply with what she perceived was had been told to her was a city regulation, take down the lattice, and she was doing that, and that was an aggressive statement directed at her, but also within the hearing of the other respondent, Miss Marashi, who was standing near the ladder and also heard the comment. And what does that indicate to the court? Well, that indicates that the conflict that began this PPO is ongoing, at least as of April at that time. I did take into consideration the video in more recently, the November video that was shown, over objection. And that does show a, interaction between Miss Stelter and Miss Jaffe on a sidewalk. What appears to be, at least in some respects, perhaps a chance encounter where Miss Stelter's walking her dog, Miss Jaffe's walking to an appointment. And I will note for the record that whatever else happens, Miss Jaffe in that video does exactly what the court requested, and that is when she saw the other person, she, without engaging verbally or anything like that, turned the other direction and put distance between them, walked across the street. And I said, it's very difficult with neighbors to never see each other. However, in that situation, she walked away. And I will also note that, the video records that Miss Jaffe's breathing is strenuous and labored, as if she's nervous or fearful about the interaction. And she's videoing it, and she has good reason to video it because, of course, anything that could be construed as a violation, as I warned her, very strictly at a previous hearing, could result in her, being found in violation of the PPO and in contempt of court. And I appreciate that she was, making that effort to follow the court's order at this point. So bottom line is, considering that totality of the circumstances that exist now, I'm going to leave the PPO in place until January the 8th. I do believe that the confrontation in April was sufficient basis to extend the PPO as regards to both parties. I'm going to leave both PPOs in place until January the 8th. And January the 8th, of course, comes, there is the opportunity to renew the PPO. I would say, based on what I've heard at the hearing today, unless there's more, I frankly don't see, I do see Miss Jaffe, as I stated before when I watched that video, making an effort to avoid interaction with Miss Stelter. And I don't see, based on that, unless there's more evidence that can be presented, about incidents that were not, placed on the record at this hearing, that there is any basis to extend it beyond the 8th. So my intention now would be that it run out on the 8th and kind of end on its own terms. However, the law does give both petitioners the right to apply for extensions. As of that date, they may do so, and I'll consider it. And then, of course, the respondents may object to the extension of the PPO. And, my thinking is, I've got two trains of thought here, and I do this just to inform the parties because I'm acutely aware that both of you are spending money on legal bills and, trying in an effort to do this according to the law. It's clear to me that if there's going to be ordinance action or offense requested to be moved, that's a whole separate piece of real property litigation that I hope and pray that I am not assigned to in the civil docket of the court. But because I'm terrible at property law, and I just
You didn't actually get assigned it, so you're good.
Oh, good. All right. I can't express the relief that I have because as much as I can screw up other matters, property law is as the Court of Appeals will confirm, my number one struggle. One thing I wish that I'd listened to in law school when I was there was all that stuff about meets and bounds and historical boundaries and things like that. So anyway, but I mean, I guess my point there being, while there's continued litigation, that of course, is a hotbed in any situation for conflict. In fact, I reflected on that yesterday with a construction case involving a landscaper, that had created significant personal conflict, not only between the two parties, but, that extended to other friends and acquaintances of theirs. That's just the nature of litigation. It does breed conflict. So I would caution the parties, to be, and I'll also say this, that even if the PPO expires on January the 8th, the PPO law allows the judge to consider prior PPOs that were granted as being one of the violations that would normally sustain a PPO. In other words, you don't need to wait until you have two violations for a neighbor PPO. You can count the previous PPO as a violation, and if there are additional violations, it puts you in a stronger position to get a new PPO if that becomes necessary. So it's not as if all the effort that went into the prior PPO is wasted or lost, even if that PPO expires. The fact that there was a PPO granted, the judges do consider that as evidence that there was at least a factual basis for one prior incident that would qualify for a PPO. So all that being informational to the parties, kind of as to where we go from here. And again, acutely aware that I'm unlikely to see any of you, until at least after January, when we might talk about whether or not this ought to be extended or not. That's kind of my guidance on what my thoughts are, because I do want the parties and the attorneys to have some basis to, kind of counsel clients going forward. One thing I do want to express, and I know I expressed it before, is I'm greatly appreciative that these requests have gone through the attorneys and that we've aired these out in the hearings. Of course, these hearings aren't particularly fun when people get examined and cross-examined and things like that. But, we're also not out in the street duking it out with each other, which is, of course, the worst case scenario and exactly what the PPO process is designed to avoid. So we are doing it in a safe and controlled environment with, some artificialities introduced by the nature of the Zoom hearing. But rest assured, I do these purely so I can jam more hearings into a given day, than I could if I had parties coming in and out of the courtroom. It's just more efficient for me to handle a higher volume of hearings so that I can get everything attended to that needs to be. So I appreciate the parties' willingness to, as I said, deal with the court schedule, and also, the willingness to engage in the legal process, which is exactly what we're doing. It's also illustrating the downsides of the legal process. What's that? Well, it's time consuming. You don't always get, very fast enough response to things that happen as quickly as they happen. And as both of you will realize, when you get the bills from your attorneys, it's also expensive to engage in the legal process. And I would wholeheartedly agree. That's one of the major disadvantages of our system. And I'm grateful that you've both been able to hire competent counsel and do this. I can tell you this is 10 times harder when I try to do it with, people who are essentially having an argument with each other directly on Zoom, and I'm trying to sort out, the facts of what happened. Even though, like I said, it's not a pleasant process, the attorneys know how to put the facts in front of me that I need to decide the case. So grateful for participation of attorneys in these cases. I wish everyone a safe and joyful holiday season, and if needed, we can revisit this in the new year, but I'll leave the PPO and with gratitude again. I think the interaction to me shows, Ms. Jaffe, working pretty hard to do exactly what I would expect an individual to do in that situation when encountering someone who, and let's be realistic here, a PPO is a serious legal restraint on your ability to do what you might otherwise do. And I always counsel people to take them seriously. And I'm always grateful to see, someone who actually listens to me, as opposed to, what I get, unfortunately, where people try to, push the limits on a PPO. That didn't happen in that occasion. So with those closing comments, and again, my gratitude for everyone's indulgence on my limited time availability, we are concluded for the day. Thank you.
All right. We're going to take us a little break here, ladies and gentlemen. So, in the midst of all of that, someone mentioned, hey, maybe we watch a couple of other cases and not just watch this one case all day long.
This is in the District Court of Greenwood County, Kansas, case entitled State of Kansas versus Wayne Allen Moeller. It is case number 2024 CR 140. Chris Ambrose appears as defense counsel of record, Jill Gillette as Greenwood County attorney. Wayne Moeller appears from the Lyon County Jail. This matter comes before the court at this time for sentencing proceedings at this time. According to the pre-sentence report in this case, on July 11, 2025, Mr. Moeller pled no contest to an amended count 1, unlawful distribution of a controlled substance, a level 4 drug felony, and count 5 as charged. Count 5 being criminal carrying of a weapon, a level 9 non-drug felony. A pre-sentence report was ordered and sentencing set for today. Court has received a pre-sentence investigation report compiled by Tony Bauer, pre-sentence investigator. I trust each attorney has received a copy of this report. But before we go any further, it's the court's understanding that there may be a motion for counsel's withdrawal before the court. Mr. Ambrose?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Moeller and I were able to speak last week, I believe, and go over some things. He's in Lyon County on an unrelated issue. It is Mr. Moeller's desire to pursue withdrawing his plea. As a result of that, I believe it's appropriate to have new counsel appointed so they can fully investigate any issues. I, as defense attorney that handled that plea, is not appropriate for me to stay on there in case that counsel determines that there's any claims that could be raised against trial counsel who worked on getting that plea taken care of.
All right. Mr. Moeller, you're wanting to withdraw your plea that you entered in this case?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Mr. Ambrose, you're taking the position that you can't pursue this motion to withdraw his plea. And that's because there's going to be an allegation that you didn't do your job?
Well, Your Honor, and this is how I've seen it widely handled in the jurisdictions I practiced for years now, is that when a motion to withdraw is pursued, new counsel is appointed. So then if there are concerns about any ineffective assistance, that can be raised by subsequent counsel.
All right. Of course, I don't care about how any other jurisdiction does anything. I care about this case right now. Mr. Moeller, give the court, this is not going to be a secret at some point. If you're going to file a motion to withdraw your plea, what is it based on?
I've chosen Levin has been an attorney of mine in a previous case, and I don't feel like I've seen all the appropriate evidence. And we had talked about having in the plea agreement. I've never even seen this plea agreement that you accepted. I've never seen it on paper.
Okay, was there a written plea agreement drafted in this case?
No, Your Honor, we did
Okay.
an oral plea like we traditionally do in this jurisdiction.
Okay.
I don't know the terms and conditions of the plea, and I was told that in the plea I would be eligible for drug court, and that has not been even brought up.
Okay, the 13th Judicial District does not have a drug specialty court, so.
Okay. I know that Jill Gillette has been an attorney in the previous case, and should be a conflict of interest in there.
Okay, Jill Gillette has been your attorney in previous cases?
Yes.
Okay, well, you're not asking to have her removed from the case or disqualified from the case, are you?
Yes.
I don't remember ever representing you.
And Eureka in Woodson County. Or Woodson County.
Mhm.
Why wasn't this raised before? I mean, she's not new to the case.
I didn't even know it before. I knew, but I didn't realize it until previously.
Are you sure it was me and not Jill Chard?
No, it was you.
Because I don't have any record of you in my conflict check. None. I maintain my own old electronic system so that I can make sure whether or not I have a conflict check. And you're not in there.
Well, that's an entirely separate issue, but one that may need to be resolved before sentencing. We're just awfully far along on the case, Mr. Mueller, before you raise an issue about some sort of conflict on the prosecutor's part. Because again, she's been at this case from the very beginning.
Right.
Your Honor.
Are you somehow suggesting that Mr. Ambrose hasn't done his job properly?
Yeah, I haven't, like I said, I haven't even seen this plea. I want to read the terms and conditions of the plea agreement that I accepted, and there was never one given to me.
All right.
I've never signed the plea agreement.
All
Like I
right.
said,
Well, Mr. Mueller, I know you probably remember this. A couple of months ago, you were before this court, and there was a long question and answer session that the court did with you before I ever accepted your plea. You didn't seem to have any problems with any of this at that time.
yeah, I just heard the plea like a minute before we even got in there. I didn't even realize what was going on at the time.
All right. It is difficult for this court to find that Mr. Mueller at this point has justifiable dissatisfaction with his current attorney, Mr. Ambrose. But in an abundance of caution, I'm going to presuppose that there may be some legitimate reason here for him to be critical of the way his attorneys handled his case. Furthermore, the court believes that we're going to need to set another hearing in this case if indeed that you can have new counsel file a motion to withdraw your plea, that it'll have some basis. And there'll need to be a hearing on that. I'm going to go ahead and reset this case for further proceedings for Thursday, October the 9th at 3 o'clock. October 9, 3 o'clock p.m. Mr. Mueller will need to fully participate. What is your status there in Lyon County, Mr. Mueller? How long are you going to be there?
Till December 25th.
Okay, you're serving time for that county?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we
And-
should know where to be able to find you.
I looked up his county cases. They're in 2022. I was the prosecutor here by then, and Ms. Jill Chard was his attorney, not me.
Okay.
And then she was withdrawn and he got someone else.
All right, so noted. Mr. Ambrose, I think under the circumstances, the court's going to allow your withdrawal.
Yes, Your Honor.
New counsel will be appointed. Yet to be determined who that will be. I'm sure they'll contact you in due course, Mr. Mueller, at the Lyon County Jail or in some appropriate fashion. I will expect that diligence will lead to a timely filing of a motion to withdraw a plea if indeed that's what you want to do, or that counsel can see you through with the sentencing that we had set for today. You need to visit with a new attorney and determine an appropriate strategy under all the facts and circumstances of your case. So sentencing or further proceedings in the case will determine exactly what those are when we get there. For Thursday, October 9, 3 o'clock p.m. with Mr. Mueller participating by Zoom. And Chris Ambrose is allowed to withdraw his counsel, and a new attorney will be appointed by the court. All right, Ms. Gillette, at least at this point, I don't have any legitimate grounds to believe you should be disqualified from further handling the case.
No.
So I presume you'll be there October 9th with us. All right, thank you for your work on the case, Mr. Bauer. And your appearance today, Ms. Stanfield, on behalf of Community Corrections, but we'll have to defer sentencing proceedings to a later date. Possibly October 9th. It could be beyond that, depending on what happens. All right, Mr. Ambrose, is there anything you need to address the court about?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Gillette, anything you need to address the court about at this time?
No.
Mr. Mueller, do you understand what we've done here today?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll just expect you to fully cooperate with new counsel once that new attorney contacts you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. If there's nothing further at this time, then the Wayne Mueller matter will be in recess and this meeting may be ended for all. Thank you, Judge.
All right, I'll just do it under that. This is case number 2509736 LT Riverstone Group LLC versus Dejanay Brown, spelled Dazhane.
Whether Your Honor, good morning. Eric Lumberg on behalf of the plaintiff. I apologize, Judge. This did not make it into my book
That's okay.
from last week.
All right, well, Ms. Brown is here. Ms. Brown, tell us your name. All right, so we were here last week on October 9th, if so. I got it.
And she wanted another adjournment for funding.
Yeah, she did. So we gave her an adjournment.
Yeah.
Does your final adjournment to hear the status of your application? What's going on with the application today?
They did not.
Okay. All right. So the application is denied.
So I can tell you, Judge, that her current balance is $3,929.40, the same as last week. And she did sign a consent judgment that I could use and just change the date to October 27th as the expiration date.
Oh, ma'am, do you agree? How much was the rent? Break it down.
Rent to retain is $3,747.40 plus $182 in court costs and fees for a total of $39.29.40.
Okay, so you agree that that is the amount that's due? And you had previously signed off on a consent judgment. He can change the date to today's date. Would you be agreeable to that? A consent judgment of possession means you're agreeing that's the amount that's due. You're agreeing that you're going to pay that by what's the writ date? The 27th? Or
October 27th.
Are you giving more time or not?
Well, it's an extra day because of the weekend.
Yeah, I know. I'm asking you. Is that your final?
Yeah,
offer?
I can't go beyond that with this balance.
All right. So October 27th is the move or pay date. Do you pay or move by October 27th? Okay. All right. So are you agreeing to enter that judgment? Okay. So he has already filled it out, says you already signed it. We'll just change the date, which would mean you have till the 27th to appeal it, and you have till the 27th to actually move or pay, with either one you choose. Did you have any questions? You have 3 days from today's date to ask me to set the judgment aside.
Will it be like a eviction still like on my name once I move on?
Well, you have a judgment. Yeah. Would you be willing, if she moves out, would you set aside the judgment and dismiss it, is what she's trying to ask?
If she moves out and pays her balance.
If she moves out and pays?
Yeah. I'm not going to agree.
Well, your judgment is not a money judgment. It's just
I understand. But I'm not going to agree to set aside the judgment if she leaves with a balance owed.
All she's required to do pursuant to the judgment is either to move or pay. Why would you be trying to penalize her for something she doesn't have to do under the terms of the judgment? She just wants to be able to get another place to stay. That's what she's saying. Ma'am, I got this. That's what she's trying to say, Mr. Lombard.
I understand, and I'm not under any obligation to set aside the judgment.
But your obligation, you're a nice person, aren't you? My goodness. Why you gotta be so rough on people that's at the bottom? They just set their foots in now. There's nothing big deal to you to just set it aside. It's not like you're losing the money. She's not obligated to pay it. She just needs to get out of there. And of course, you can go get the money which is what you do anyway. You file another
How do we
case.
how do we get the money, Judge?
You go file another case after she moves. You get the forwarding address. You go do
Right.
your client does the
It's
walkthrough.
very unlikely that we ever collect this, Judge.
Okay, well, it's unlikely you're gonna collect it anyway then.
Okay. Judge, if you order it, I will do it.
Well, please. I would like that. It would be a very redeeming quality, Mr. Lundberg, and it doesn't hurt your client. All right.
She can submit it. She can submit an order, and I will agree to it.
Okay. So you just need to let him know, and he will submit a dismissal, setting aside the judgment and dismiss it if you move out on time, or if you pay and stay. But it doesn't sound like you have the money, so you're trying to move. Okay? And I'll make a note of that in here.
And I will put that in the judgment, Your Honor.
Okay, he'll put that in the judgment. So good luck to you. You got to be out by the 27th. Any questions?
No.
All right. Good luck. You're all set.
All right, Ms. Moore, back over to you.
Yes, Your Honor, this is Mr. Roeder. We had set his matter over from yesterday because there was a bit of a snarl we ran into with the mandatory minimums on the D1. We are now prepared to resolve today after discussion between myself, Mr. Lindgren, and Ms. Milne, as well as Mr. Roeder, of course.
All right, so there's a new plea form here. I've got that. Okay, so Mr. Roeder, we're going to go back over to the mandatory minimums as part of our plea discussion from yesterday. So remember, initially you had thought that that mandatory minimum penalty was 10 days, but when I advised you that it was actually 90 days, that took you by surprise. And I told you that it was based on having a prior offense for the same charge. And so now it looks like the recommendation from the prosecutor is that you receive a 90-day sentence, which would be a mandatory minimum with credit for time that you served up to now, and that the balance of the time, if any, would be permissible to be served on electronic home monitoring. So do you understand the prosecutor's recommendation here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that 90 days represents a mandatory minimum sentence that must be imposed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, the other mandatory penalty for this offense is the Department of Licensing will further suspend your driver's license.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then did anybody make any threats or any promises to you to get you to plead guilty to these charges?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. And the statement written here on your plea form says on or about September 11 of 2022, in Thurston County, I drove a motor vehicle while my license was suspended in the first degree and without having an ignition interlock device when required to have one. Is that your statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, then. With that and our discussion yesterday, I will accept your guilty plea. All right, Mr. Libby, anything else for the state on this?
I don't believe so, Your Honor, but one moment while I no, nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Moore?
Your Honor, I would ask the court to follow the agreed recommendation, and in particular, I would ask the court to permit Mr. Roeder to serve the remaining balance on electronic home monitoring. He has young children who he needs to get back to help care for and support. He's already served 18 days based on my calculation from booking, and would have 72 remaining to serve on EHM and is prepared to do so. I would ask the court to release him and give him maybe 48 hours to set up the remainder of that balance on EHM. I would also ask the court to waive all fines and fees possible, given he will not be driving for quite some time and has been held in custody for nearly 3 weeks.
I already have a bike that I ride everywhere to and from my boss's house for work, and
Yeah,
he picks me up to go places, and yeah.
this case is quite old at this point.
All right, is there anything else you want me to know, Mr. Rotter?
No. No, that's it.
All right, I'm gonna accept the recommendation, and your sentence for driving while suspended first degree will be 90 days. None of that is suspended. Credit for 18 days served, and that leaves 72 to complete. For count 2, there'll be no time imposed. For neither will there be any financial obligations imposed. The 72 days, you can do that on electronic home monitoring, and you need to start that by Monday, which is September 15th. I will give you a release to take care of that.
Thank you.
Mr. Rotter, there's a little bit of a curveball to this. I know you have warrants from other counties that may or may not prevent your release from the jail. That depends on what those other counties want to do. But if you're not released and you have to go to one of those other counties for those warrants, contact us so that we can address extending that Monday deadline to get on EHM.
Okay, yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
That was a concern that Mr. Roeder and I had just talked about as well, so fingers crossed.
I got kind of figure out to get those taken care of, especially the ones in Greater Tarver County. My boss is going to pay for me to quash the warrants and everything, and I'm going to do, I got that all set up, but thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
That's it.
Still some people. And Mr. Stashevsky previously, well, no, actually I'm wrong about that. Never mind. I was gonna.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay. All right, Ms. Crossland, I have your petition for an anti-harassment order against the Michelle Treese Pang. That's
Yes,
case
sir.
25-310. I've reviewed your petition. I'm going to order this set for a hearing on your petition to determine whether to issue an anti-harassment order. That hearing will be held on September 22nd at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And you'll need to make arrangements to serve notice of the hearing on Ms. Treese Pang.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you here September 22nd, and I think you have a hearing on Monday, the 15th as well.
I do?
Yeah, have you been served with notice of a hearing by
sir.
Ms. Treese Pang?
No, I have not. I have not been
Okay.
served with anything.
Okay, well, I know that matter was filed in the court, but if you haven't been served notice, obviously you don't know about it, but you may yet be served with notice.
Okay, so you said for me, September 22nd at 9?
That's correct. And the civil clerk will send you your copies of the paperwork here shortly this afternoon.
Okay, and does that mean I'm automatically granted a temporary
No.
order?
No, that decision won't be made until the hearing where the court hears from both parties.
Okay, heard. So September 22nd at 9 a.m. Got it.
That's right. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Oh my. I'm sorry. I had to end the show with something funny after all of that headache and all of that turmoil. It's been 2.5 hours, ladies and gentlemen. And those last clips, those were from the cutting room floor, ladies and gentlemen. Extra because you asked for extra. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I am your Lone Wolf Usul. I have been your host for these here court cases. I am your curator for this here court gallery. And I'm here every single day, every single night. Come on by and hang out with the live chat, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, every weekday. We're here live on the weekends, 11 a.m. Central Time, noon Eastern Time. And it's been a blast. It's been a blast. See you next time. Have a great day. Bye.